For solving this problem, what we need to use is the cosine law. The cosine law basically told us that a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2 times b times c times cos of a, the angle a. In this case, it is really important that you guys remember that when using the cosine law, we always need to have at least 3 values. In this case, as you can see, we have those 3 values, which is 5, 6, and this angle right here, which is the angle of A. However, we don't have the side of A, which is what the question is asking us for. For doing that, what we need to do is use this formula and replace the values according to what the problem is telling us. In this case, we're finding A2, so we put A2, it's equal to B2, which is in this case 5. So 5/2 plus 6 squared minus 2 times 5 times 6 times cos of 82. This because, as you can see, it is cos of A. In this case, A, the angle A is this one, so 82. When we do that, we will get, first of all, that, so A2, 5 squared, it's equal to 25. 6 squared, it's equal to 36 minus 2 times 6 times 5 times 6, it will give us a result of 60 times cos of 82. You can look for that in the calculator. Remember, it's very important to use it, especially when we're talking about cosine, sine, and those values that we don't know by memory. So cosine of 82, which is 0.39, and now we can add these values and multiply these values. So it will be a squared, it's equal to 61 minus 8.350. Now we can do this operation. A squared, it's equal to 52.65. And finally, and it's really important that you guys remember this right here is a square, but we need it as a simple number with no exponents. The different and the opposite of an exponent is a root. So we need to become and change this into a normal number to a root. So it will be a, it's equal to the root of 52.65. This square root will give us a result of 7.256, meaning that this is 7.256, and that is the answer. The most important part here is to replace the values, and remember that when we have an exponent and we need it is as a simple number, we need to do a root, as it is the opposite operation of an exponent. The cosine law can also work for finding angles. In this case, the problem is asking us for finding the angle x. Remember that it's very important to know at least three values of the problem to use the cosine law. In this case, these values are 11, 10, and 8. So now that we identified these 3 values, we now can replace the values here in the equation. So it will be 11 squared, it's equal to 10 squared plus 8 squared minus 2 times 10 times a times cosine of x. X right here, because as you can see, the angle is named x. Now what we need to do is start isolating the cosine x to have a value of it. However, it's one of the tips that I gave you guys is when we need to do an isolation and one of the groups, let's remember, I call it groups because you can see that this right here, this minus, is separating these two from these four. So we can see that these are separated, but however, this value right here, this 2, it is negative, and that can make the operation not only a little bit difficult, but if you're not really used to isolating, it can get you confused, and maybe you got a wrong answer because a small mistake because of that negative sign. Because of that, I recommend you guys to first of all pass everything to the other side so that we can take this minus to be a positive, and it may make the process a little bit not only easier but faster. So when we do that, what are we gonna have is that as we pass in this to the other side, so let's write it to the other side, it will be 2 times 10 times 8 times cosine of x plus, and plus because you remember here we have the 11 square, so this one is positive, it is staying in that side, so it will be a plus, so plus 11 square. And here it's really important that you guys notice that we are changing from this side to the other side. Here it is positive, it will be passing to negative, so minus 10 square. Minus 10 square minus 8 squared, and remember here was positive, it passes to negative. It's equal to, and you guys can notice that we put all of the numbers to the other side, meaning that we don't have any number to the right side. So we only put 0, and that can work perfectly for making these two positive. Now that we have it positive, we can start the isolation of the cosine x. As I already told you, this right here, it's being separated, and the formulas, these operations, can separate just by a sign of a positive or negative. Not a multiplication, not a division, just positive and negative. So as you can see here, there is the sign, we can say that it's separating these two parts. So we can say that 2 times 10 times x times cosine of x is equal to 11 squared minus 10 squared minus 8 squared. And that is how we pass this right here, this second group, to the other side and stop using the 0. From there, we can start and isolate the cosine of x. So we have cosine of x. In this case, as you can see, these 2, 10, and 8 were multiplying, which will be passing to divide. So first we write what is already on that side, which is 11 squared minus 10 squared minus 8 squared. And as I already told you, this is passing to dividing as it was multiplying, so 2 times 10 times 8. When you do that operation, first of all, the right part will give us a result of 43, and this operation 2 times 10 times 8, it will be a result of 160. Now that we have that, we need to find the arc of the cosine. This because if we put this our answer, what we're telling is just the cosine of the angle. However, remember, the problem is asking us specifically for the angle. So when we use the arc of the cosine, we got the angle. remember, arc of cosine is cos minus 1 of this answer right here. That can also be represented as 0.26. So 0.26, that will be equal to x, and this operation right here will give us a result of 74.92, and this is the angle of x. Remember to put the arc of cosine in the calculator. It's shift cosine, and it's better if you write it exactly as you see it, not to get confused or make mistakes in the process.